Hello, Lad Lane Leopards. It is time to reveal our final 4 books. All right, Lad Lane Leopards, our final 4. The last 2 on this side of the bracket are Between Too Many Toys and the 3 Little Pigs, and Between Alice the Fairy and Pigsty. Our winners are the 3 Little Pigs and Pigsty. They will face off in the final 4. And on the right side of our bracket, our matchup between The Secret Shortcut and The Lost and Found, and Duck on a Bike versus How to Be a Pirate. Our winners are The Lost and Found versus How I Became a Pirate. They will face off in the final 4. All right, boys and girls, our matchups are set. We only have 2 more videos before the championship game. So thank you for participating, and don't forget to vote.
The 3 Little Pigs and the Somewhat Bad Wolf by Mark Teague. To Lilius and Ava, you heard it first. Once there were 3 little pigs. They lived on a farm as most pigs do, and were happy as most pigs are. Then one day the farmer told them that he and his wife were moving to Florida. He paid the pigs for their good work and sent them on their way. Let's buy potato chips, said the first pig. Let's buy sody pop, said the second pig. Let's buy building supplies, said the third pig, who was altogether un-pig-like. Reluctantly, the others agreed. The first pig decided to build a straw house. Since straw is cheap, he had plenty of money left over for potato chips. The second pig decided to build a stick house. Sticks are practically free, so he had lots of money left over for sody pop. The third pig decided to build a brick house. She spent all her money on bricks and mortar, but the man at the hardware store gave her a sandwich. Soon the straw house was finished. It was dusty and musty, but the first pig did not mind. He rocked in his hammock and ate potato chips. Soon after, the stick house was done. It was small and there was no room for a bathtub, but the second pig did not mind. He took a mud bath and drank sody pop. Brick by brick, the third pig worked hard on her house. Sometimes the other pigs would come by to watch. They had a wonderful time. Finally, the brick house was finished. It was big, beautiful, and strong. The third pig was very happy. She filled a basket with vegetables from her garden. The next day, a wolf came to town. He was very hungry and somewhat bad. He went to a donut shop, but it was closed. He went to a hot dog stand, but it was locked. Finally, he went to a pizza parlor, but he wasn't allowed in. He left in a very bad mood. Soon he came to a straw house. It smelled like pig. I like pig, he said, not in a friendly way. He banged on the door. Who is it? Called the first pig. The wolf. Open up or I'll blow your house down. I think the door is stuck, said the pig. So the wolf huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down. I can't believe that worked, he said. He had never blown down a house before. Quickly, the first pig got on his scooter and he sped away. The wolf moved on, hungry but confident. He came to another house, this one built out of sticks. Same piggy smell, he said. He knocked on the door. Who is it? Called the second pig. Wolf, open up or I'll blow your house down. Trust me, he added. I've done it before. I think the door is jammed, said the pig. So the wolf took an enormous breath and he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down. I'm amazed that works, he said. Meanwhile, pig number 2 got on his bike and rode away. The wolf was still hungry, very, very hungry. The hungry wolf came to a very beautiful brick house. He noticed a familiar scooter and bicycle, and the house reeked of pig. The somewhat bad wolf rang the doorbell. Who is it? Called the pig. The wolf. Open up or I'll blow this house down. Oh no, said the pigs, not now. We are watching our favorite show. The starving wolf took a humongous breath and he huffed and he puffed and he huff puffed and he puff huffed and he huffy puff huffed. After the huffing and puffing stopped, the third pig said, "Do you think he is still out there?" The three pigs looked through the window and saw the wolf collapsed on the lawn. "Look at the poor guy," said the first pig. "He's exhausted. Maybe he needs some potato chips." The second pig added, "And some sody pop." The three pigs revived the wolf with some smelling salts and invited him in. The somewhat bad wolf was embarrassed. "I was so hungry I could not think straight." "Have a potato chip," said the first pig. "Have a sody pop," said the second pig. "Never mind that stuff," said the third pig. "Dinner is almost ready." Since their houses were wrecked, the first two pigs moved in with the third pig. "My house, my rules," she said. She made them clean their rooms before they went out to play. The wolf stayed too, but there was no more huffing and no more puffing, and he was hardly ever bad again.
Today's March Madness book is Pigsty by Mark Teague. Monday afternoon, Wendell Foltz's mother told him to clean his room. "It's turning into a pigsty," she said. Wendell went upstairs. Much to his surprise, a large pig was sitting on his bed. "Pardon me," said Wendell. He shoved some toys into his closet, but the pig didn't seem to mind the mess, and Wendell found that he didn't mind the pig either. He decided to take a break. When Wendell's mother came to look at his room, the pig was hiding, but the mess was still there. She threw up her hands. "Okay, Wendell," she said, "if you want to live in a pigsty, that's up to you." Wendell could hardly believe his luck. Now I can live however I want. He didn't even worry when he came home on Tuesday and found a second pig in his room. The mess had grown a bit worse, but he was able to jam most of it under his bed. "Pigs are all right," he said, "as long as it's only one or two." In fact, they had a wonderful time. They played Monopoly until late each night and left the pieces lying all over the floor. They had paper airplane wars and pillow fights. The bed became a trampoline. Then 2 more pigs showed up. The mess just grew and grew. That night, when Wendell went to bed, the pigs were lying everywhere. They rolled up in his blankets and hogged his pillows too. Wendell told himself he didn't mind, but then he found hoof prints on his comic books. And Friday, when he got home from school, he saw that someone had been sitting on his basketball. And his baseball cards were chewed. "That does it," said Wendell. "I've had enough." He ran downstairs to tell his mother. "Sorry," she said, "but your room is your responsibility." She handed him a broom. Wendell started to complain. The mess was too huge. But suddenly he remembered a saying he'd heard that many hooves make light work. He marched upstairs and organized a cleaning crew. They swept and scoured, polished and scrubbed. Later that afternoon, Wendell inspected his room and pronounced it clean. In fact, it was a bit too clean, from a pig's point of view. So while Wendell inspected, the pigs prepared to go home. One of them made a phone call, and a farm truck came to pick them up. They hugged and grunted and oinked, "Goodbye." From that day on, Wendell kept his room clean. Except for those nights when his friends came by to play Monopoly. The end.
Now, I know you enjoyed both books because both books have advanced now twice, and they are in the Final Four for a reason. So please don't forget to vote and see who makes the championship round.